Earth's response to genocide. Now you meet the real monsters. The TSV Aegis slid into orbit above Verdantia. Its 300-meter hull vibrated with the low hum of fusion reactors. On the bridge, Colonel Soren Vale stood tall and lean. Premature gray streaked his hair, and cold eyes matched the steel in his voice. His black-blue long coat marked him as the commander of this peacekeeping cruiser and the 120 souls aboard. "Full sensor sweep," Vale ordered. The arrays spun to life. Ash clouds smothered 70% of the planet below. Verdantia, an agricultural world 12,000 kilometers across, lay silent across its 4 million square kilometers. No civilian signals, only emptiness. At her console, Mira Chen leaned forward. Short, agile, her coat bristling with electronic tools. The communications officer frowned. "Colonel, I've got something. A faint signal on 2.4 GHz. Distress beacon. Central settlement. It's been looping." Jonah Reeve froze at tactical. Muscular, hair damp with sweat under light armor, he gripped the console. His wife and children had migrated here 18 months ago. The thought hollowed his face, but he said nothing. Dr. Lyra Novak adjusted her AR glasses. Pale hair cropped short, lab gear modified for space. Cold, precise. "Anomalous readings," she reported. 5.7 keV energy traces. Doesn't match Ethrak plasma weapons. Vale's reply was firm. "Landing team, gear up. Pulse rifles and EVA suits. Chen, Reeve, Novak on me." The shuttle knifed through ash-choked skies. It settled in fields of blackened soil. Boots crunched on soot as the team advanced. They reached a sealed schoolhouse, its doors fused shut. Jonah forced them open with a hydraulic pry. Inside, silence and horror. 42 small bodies lay charred in huddled clusters. Jonah's vitals spiked on the HUD, heart hammering at 140 beats per minute. He staggered, dropped to one knee, clutching a blackened toy. "This was a classroom," he whispered, voice breaking. "What kind of monsters?" "Steady, Lieutenant," Vale said. "We gather evidence, not assumptions." Mira swept the room with her scanners. "Data centers next. Might be logs." The consoles flickered with dying power. Mira connected, fingers moving fast. "Recovering a file. 4K video. Recent timestamp." The projection flared. Krith Axiom, Supreme Commander of the Ethra, filled the screen. His silver skin gleamed as he declared, "Purification." Voice guttural, eyes glowing green. Behind him, devastation stretched in flames. Lyra leaned in. Numbers danced across her glasses. "Lighting's wrong. 15 degrees off from Verdantia's twin suns. Metadata is misaligned by 72 hours. This footage is fabricated." Jonah slammed a fist against the console. "It's them. The Ethrak killed them. My family." Mira's voice cut in, sharp but uneasy. "Don't be so sure. Admiral Kestrel would love this for his war drum, but it stinks of human work." Vale's eyes hardened. "Back to the shuttle. Now." Alarms rang. Ethrak ships registered 0.2 AU away, holding position like predators in the dark. The team lifted off under ashfall. On the Aegis, Vale paced the bridge. "Chen, strip that video layer by layer. Novak, cross-check those energy traces. Reeve, stand down until we have proof." Jonah bristled, hand near his sidearm. "If it's them, Colonel, we hit back hard." "We don't answer with anger," Vale said coldly. "We answer with truth." The cruiser powered its shields and swept sensors across the dead world. Gray ash swirled in orbit, veiling secrets. "Decode progressing," Mira reported. "There are fingerprints here, human ones." Lyra nodded. "Quantum signatures confirm it. Earth tech." Vale stilled. "Then Verdantia's fall is not what it seems. Plot deeper scans. We find the truth before this sparks a war." The Aegis adjusted orbit, thrusters firing to skim the ash storms. Jonah's hands clenched white on the railing. "Whatever it is," he muttered, "it cost everything." In the dim light of the bridge, the crew moved with precision, shadows heavy with dread. Vale's voice cut through. "Deploy probes. I want every anomaly mapped." Dozens of probes streaked away, scattering like meteors. One burrowed into a crater and returned seismic echoes. "Something buried deep," Lyra said. Picking up chatter, Mira added, encrypted. Breaking it now. On the displays, fragments of data aligned clues forming a pattern beneath the ash-choked silence. Verdantia was more than a ruin. It was a stage set for lies. Vale's gray eyes stayed fixed on the screens. Then we tear the veil off this world, piece by piece. The TSV Aegis hummed through Verdantia's orbit, its 1.2 terawatt ion shields casting a faint blue glow against the ash-streaked void. Colonel Soren Vale stood at the bridge's central holotable, his black-blue coat swaying as he swiped through sensor data. The crew moved with precision, consoles alive with scans piercing the planet's gray shroud. Dr. Lyra Novak hunched over her quantum decryptor, its 10 teraflop processor whirring softly. Her platinum hair caught the bridge's dim light as she traced a cryptographic string in the massacre video's code. "Forward Defense Agency signature embedded here," she said, voice clipped. "This links to Earth's Black Ops." Mira Chen, fingers flying across her console, smirked despite the tension. Her long coat's pockets bristled with hacking tools, each a testament to her Venus orbit upbringing. FDA's got a history, 12 deep-fake ops in the last decade alone. This video screams their handiwork. Jonah Reeves, still in light armor, gripped his M17 pulse rifle near the tactical station. His brown hair stuck to his forehead, jaw tight with grief. "Human or not, someone burned my home. I want answers." Vale's gray eyes flicked to him. "You'll get them, Lieutenant, but we act on facts." Lyra's AR glasses flickered with data streams. Videos rendered on a 7mm neural processor, Scifi AI cores, Earth exclusive. No Ethrac could have faked this. Her tone stayed cold, analytical, slicing through the crew's rising heat. Sensor logs blinked on the holotable, showing Ethrac ships arriving 48 hours post-massacre. Mira leaned in, her sarcasm sharp. "They deployed biohazard drones, not weapons. Containment pattern for a pathogen, 98% lethality. Responders, not killers." Vale nodded, his calm unshaken. "Then Verdantia's fall was staged. The question is why?" A seismic scan pulsed across the screen, revealing a structure 2 kilometers below the surface. The Lampirid Vault, a hidden facility, loomed in the data like a buried secret. Its outline glowed faintly, carved into Verdantia's crust, surrounded by ash-choked caverns. Jonah volunteered, his voice raw. "I'll lead the breach team. Let's see what they're hiding." He hefted a 50-megajoule plasma cutter, its grip worn from use, his eyes burning with purpose. Vale approved, and the team descended in a stealth shuttle, skimming low to evade FDA satellites. The vault's entrance was a titanium slab, cold and unyielding under Verdantia's ashfall. Jonah sliced through, sparks cascading like dying stars. Inside, vials labeled ashlight glinted in sterile light, each a synthetic virus poised to kill millions. Mira jacked into a nearby terminal, her tools humming. "Intercepted an FDA order. They want this vault erased before Concord inspectors hit in 72 hours. Her voice held a biting edge, masking worry. On Earth, President Meena Rao, elegant in a white political suit, stood in the new White House's orbital chamber. Her long black hair, streaked with gray, framed South Asian features, taut with strain. Admiral Seraph Kestrel, his white hair stark against a crimson uniform, loomed over her. "Operation Black Anthem is ready, Madam President. 400 warships to make the galaxy tremble." Rao's voice was deliberate, heavy. "If I follow you, I protect my presidency. But who protects the truth?" Kestrel's scarred face twisted. "We don't need truth. We need enemies to kneel." Aboard the Aegis, Vale studied the vault's data. "Deploy stealth drones," he ordered. "We need more before we move." Drones launched, their 5-meter frames vanishing into Verdantia's haze. They mapped subsurface tunnels, dodging FDA sensors with 99% evasion protocols. Mira's console pinged, revealing encrypted FDA chatter. "They're covering tracks fast." Lyra's decryptor churned, her glasses reflecting code. "Ashlight virus targets Ethrac biology. This was no accident." Her words landed like a blade, sharp and precise. Jonah, back aboard, slammed his cutter onto a rack. "So humans framed the Ethrac? For what? War?" His voice cracked, emotions spilling through. Vale turned, his coat brushing the deck. To control the narrative, and we're going to break it. The bridge fell silent, the weight of conspiracy settling in. Mira's fingers paused, her usual quips absent. Jonah's breathing steadied, his grip on vengeance loosening just a fraction. Lyra's scanner hummed, relentless, as if truth itself powered it. Vale pointed to the holotable. Set course for the vault's core. We need hard evidence before Kestrel's fleet moves. The Aegis banked, thrusters flaring against the ash-dark sky. Below, Verdantia's surface lay like a graveyard, its secrets pulsing deep underground. Mira patched into a secure channel, her voice low. If Kestrel's behind this, his media network's next. Emergency signals always find a way. Jonah checked his rifle's charge, eyes narrowing. Let's end this lie. The cruiser's sensors locked onto the vault, drones relaying live feeds of sealed chambers and shadowed corridors. Vale's orders echoed, calm but unyielding. Prepare for insertion. We're peeling this open. A faint tremor ran through the ship, ash particles scattering across the view screen. The truth was close, but so was danger, coiled in the silence of Verdantia's depths. The TSV Aegis hovered low, its hull kissed by Verdantia's ash-laden winds. The shuttle bay hissed open, and Colonel Soren Vale led the team into a 500-meter descent toward the Lamperid vault. Grav boots hummed, countering the 0.8 G pull of the planet's crust. The cavern's walls, jagged and soot-streaked, loomed under flickering drone lights, casting shadows like skeletal fingers. Inside the vault, 200 stasis chambers glowed faintly, their sterile white casings lined in rows. Each held a pathogen vial, capable of erasing a 500,000-strong colony in days. Mira Chen's tools clicked as she scanned the nearest chamber, her black hair catching the cold light. "This is a death factory," she muttered, sarcasm gone. Jonah Reeve, plasma cutter slung across his back, moved to a security grid. His muscular frame tensed as he deployed an EMP pulse, its 10-megawatt surge frying the system. Alarms blared, red lights pulsing in the vault's depths. "FDA's coming," he growled. 300 clicks out. Dr. Lyra Novak jacked into a 1-petabyte server, her AR glasses flashing data streams. Her slim fingers danced over controls, pulling files that confirmed Earth's military had funded the bioweapons 7 years ago. "This was deliberate," she said, voice icy. "They built this to kill." Vale scanned the chamber, his gray eyes narrowing. "Chen, check for comm relays. We need their orders." Mira hacked a nearby relay, her tools slicing through FDA encryption. "Kestrel's planning to pin this on the Ethrac. Wants a war to justify Black Anthem." Her voice held a sharp edge, fingers steady despite the stakes. Scans revealed deactivated Ethrac biodrones, their 400 aluminum UV sterilization beams offline, sabotaged by human hands. Lyra knelt beside one, her glasses analyzing circuitry. "These were meant to stop the virus. Someone wanted it to spread." Vale's coat brushed a console as he turned. "Tactical retreat. Now!" FDA gunships, 12 in total, roared closer, their 50mm railguns charging. The team sprinted through the vault's corridors, boots echoing on titanium floors. Jonah lagged, his sidearm drawn. "I'm grabbing a sample," he said, defying orders. He smashed a chamber with his cutter, securing an ashlight vial as the ceiling groaned. The tunnel shook, debris falling like ash rain. Jonah dove, rolling clear as a support beam collapsed. His HUD flashed, 30 seconds to extraction. The shuttle's ramp lowered, engines screaming, and he leapt aboard, vial clutched tight. The Aegis climbed, its 1.2 terawatt ion shields flaring against a missile barrage. Explosions lit the view screen, shockwaves rattling the bridge. Vale gripped the holotable, voice steady. "Evasive maneuvers, get us clear." Mira's console sparked, her hack holding against FDA jammers. "They're locking us out. I'm rerouting power to keep comms up." Her fingers flew, rerouting 20% of the ship's grid to maintain a 5 GHz channel. Jonah strapped in, vial secured in a containment unit. "This proves it's human-made," he said, voice raw. "My family died for this lie." Lyra's scanner pinged, her analysis relentless. "The virus's structure is tailored. It's a weapon, not a leak." Her words cut through the bridge's hum, a silent beat following as the crew processed the betrayal. Vale turned to the comms. Open a secure channel to Etheric Ambassador Inshara. We need allies. The Aegis banked, thrusters glowing against Verdantia's ash clouds. Inshara's response crackled through, their voice calm, logical. Colonel, we meet in the neutral asteroid belt. 3 light minutes out. Bring your evidence. Vale nodded. Plot course. Full speed. The cruiser surged, dodging satellite scans with 95% stealth protocols. The vault's sterile glow faded behind them, replaced by the void's cold expanse. Mira's tools whirred, pulling more FDA chatter. Kestrel's mobilizing. We've got 48 hours before his fleet moves. Jonah's fist clenched, the vial's weight heavy in his mind. We trusted Earth, and they built this? Lyra adjusted her glasses, her voice precise. The data doesn't lie. Earth's military wanted a war, and Verdantia was the spark. The asteroid belt loomed on sensors, a jagged maze of rock and ice. Vale's orders came sharply. Prepare for contact. Inshara's our only shot to stop this. The bridge fell quiet, the crew's movements a symphony of urgency. Mira's hack held, a lifeline against Kestrel's shadow. Jonah checked his rifle, his grief channeling into resolve. Lyra's decryptor churned, unearthing more of the vault's secrets. Outside, Verdantia's ash swirled, a grim reminder of the lie below. The Aegis cut through the void, its hull glinting faintly, a lone beacon racing toward truth. Vale stood tall, his coat a dark silhouette against the starfield. We expose this, or the galaxy burns. The cruiser's engines roared, closing the distance to the asteroid belt. Danger loomed closer, FDA gunships trailing like predators. The team braced, their actions swift, the vault's horrors fueling their drive to unravel Kestrel's conspiracy. The TSV Aegis carved through the asteroid belt, its fusion drive burning at 2 terawatts to reach the neutral zone 3 light minutes from Verdantia. Jagged rocks spun in the void, their gray surfaces catching faint starlight. Colonel Soren Vale stood at the helm, his black-blue coat steady as he monitored the rendezvous coordinates. The bridge's hum was tense, consoles alive with evasive scans. A 1 cutting corner long Ethrak diplomatic vessel emerged, its metallic sheen glinting like liquid silver. Ambassador Inshara, genderless and aged like a human septuagenarian, stood in ceremonial armor, their glowing green eyes calm on the holofeed. Colonel Vale, we seek truth as you do, they said, voice gentle yet logical. Mira Chen recalibrated the Aegis comm array, her tools sparking at 5 GHz to bypass FDA jammers. Her black hair was tucked tighter now, her sarcasm sharp. Kestrel's network is a fortress, but I've got a back door. Let's see what they're hiding. Doctor, Lyra Novak's AR glasses flickered as she decoded the Ashlight virus blueprint. It targets Ethrak biology exclusively, she said, her tone cold. Engineered to spark war. Her slim frame leaned over the console, relentless in pursuit of data. Jonah Reeve paced, his light armor creaking, sidearm holstered tight. His brown eyes burned with grief, voice heated. The Ethrak fought us for 200 years over border worlds. Why trust them now? He gripped his M17 rifle, muscles taut. Vale turned, his gray eyes steady. Because their drones saved 8,000 Verdantians in quarantine zones. The FDA stopped them. His words landed firm, cutting through Jonah's anger. A silent beat followed, the bridge heavy with doubt. Inshara's holofeed shifted, displaying 3D recordings of Ethrak biodrones sterilizing pathogen zones. We came to help, they said philosophically. When children cry, language is the same everywhere. The footage showed silver drones sweeping UV beams, saving survivors before sabotage. Suddenly, the FDA gunships, 20 in total, locked onto the Aegis, firing hypersonic missiles. The cruiser lurched into a 0.9C evasive maneuver, weaving through asteroids. Shields flared, absorbing 80% of the barrage. Vale gripped the holotable. Return fire. Target their guidance systems. Mira's fingers danced, planting a virus in Kestrel's media network. Slowed their propaganda by 30% across 12 star systems, she quipped, her coat's tools glowing faintly. They'll feel that. Jonah manned the tactical station, launching 40mm countermeasure drones. They're closing fast, he growled, his grief fueling precision. The view screen lit with explosions, asteroid fragments scattering like shrapnel. Lyra's decryptor pinged, pulling more Lamperid data. The FDA planned to frame the Ethrak for genocide. Black Anthem's their endgame. Her voice stayed precise, a blade of truth in the chaos. Vale and Inshara huddled over the holofeed, drafting a plan. "We broadcast from the Concord Nexus, 4 light-years out," Vale said, his tone concise. "Your logs, our evidence. The galaxy sees the truth." Inshara nodded, their armor glinting. "Our fleet of 15 ships will escort you. We stand together." Their collective-minded logic meshed with Vale's resolve, forging a fragile alliance. The Aegis banked hard, thrusters roaring through the belt's maze. Missiles trailed, their 50-megajoule warheads grazing shields. Mira rerouted power, her console sparking. Comms holding, but they're jamming hard. Jonah fired a salvo, disabling 2 gunships with pinpoint railgun shots. "For Verdantia," he muttered, his voice low. The axe steadied him, a flicker of purpose piercing his pain. Lyra's glasses reflected data streams, her analysis unrelenting. The virus was a trigger. They wanted the Concorde to fracture. Her words hung, a silent beat settling as the crew absorbed the scale of betrayal. Vale's coat brushed the deck as he turned. "Set course for the Nexus, maximum speed." The Ethrak vessel flanked them, its 500 petawatt shields absorbing stray FDA fire. Asteroids spun past, their cold surfaces indifferent to the chase. The Aegis hull groaned, sensors tracking 18 gunships still in pursuit. Mira's hack deepened, pulling Kestrel's orders. "He's desperate to stop us," she said, her sarcasm biting. "Good. Means we're close." Jonah checked his rifle's charge, his jaw set. "If we're allying with Ethrak, they'd better pull their weight." His tone softened, a crack in his vengeance. Inshara's voice came through, calm. "We protect the truth, Lieutenant, as do you." Their words bridged species, a shared mission taking root. The Aegis surged, its drive glowing against the belt's dark expanse. Vale stood firm, his gray eyes locked on the stars. "We get to the Nexus or Kestrel wins." "Oh!" The cruiser's thrusters flared, weaving through rock and fire. The Alliance held, fragile but resolute, as the galaxy's fate hung in the balance. The void outside was silent, but danger pulsed closer, a predator waiting to strike. The TSV Aegis roared through the void, its 2-terawatt fusion drive pushing 0.95 C toward the conquered broadcast nexus. The asteroid belt's jagged rocks faded behind, replaced by the neutron star's faint glow, its 5-kilometer-wide station orbiting like a beacon. Colonel Soren Vale gripped the holotable, his black-blue coat steady as FDA gunships, 50 vessels armed with 100 gigajoule laser cannons closed in. "Engage countermeasures," Vale ordered, his voice calm but sharp. The Aegis drones launched, scattering 40-millimeter decoys that burst in blinding flares. Shields flickered, absorbing 85% of incoming fire. Mira Chen's fingers blurred over her console, her hacking tools glowing faintly. "Kestrel's ordered the Nexus destroyed," she said, voice edged with urgency. "I've got their comms cracked. They're panicking." Her hack exposed encrypted orders, revealing the station as the FDA's next target. Lieutenant Jonah Reeve, back in light armor, prepped a boarding team for Verdantia's quarantine zone. 30 Ethrak kids are trapped there, he said, checking his non-lethal stun rounds. His muscular frame moved with purpose, grief now a quiet fuel. "I'm getting them out." Dr. Lyra Novak's AR glasses flashed as she analyzed the ashlight virus. 72-hour incubation period, she said, voice cold. "Explains the massacre's speed. It was designed to kill fast." Her slim hands worked the decryptor, unearthing more FDA lies. Vale nodded. "Reeve, take the shuttle. Chen, keep those comms open. Novak, prep the evidence package." Jonah's team dropped to Verdantia, landing in a scorched quarantine zone. Barricades loomed, their titanium surfaces pitted by ashfall. He hefted a plasma charge, disabling a 20-ton blast door with a controlled burst. The door groaned open, revealing Ethrak children huddled inside, their silver skin dim under emergency lights. Back on the Aegis, the cruiser shuddered, port thrusters damaged, cutting maneuverability by 25%. FDA interceptors swarmed, their laser volleys carving glowing arcs. Vale's orders cut through the chaos. Redirect power to shields. Hold course. Mira rerouted energy, her console sparking. Comms are live. I'm boosting the signal to reach Concord diplomats. Her voice held a sarcastic bite. Kestrel's propaganda can't block an emergency signal forever. Vale opened a 10-second delay FTL comm to Concord diplomats. We have proof of human treachery, he said concisely. Support our broadcast, or war consumes us all. The diplomats' agreement crackled back, tentative but firm. Anshara's Ethrak vessel flanked the Aegis, its 500 petawatt shields absorbing 80% of FDA fire. The ambassador's voice came through, logical. Our drones are neutralizing their targeting systems. Proceed to the Nexus. Jonah's team moved fast, guiding the Ethrak children to the shuttle. One child, eyes glowing green, clutched his arm. Jonah's HUD showed his heart rate steady at 90 BPM, a silent beat of resolve settling in. You're safe now, he said, voice softer than before. The Aegis dodged a missile salvo, its hull rattling as debris pinged off shields. Mira's hack deepened, pulling Kestrel's fleet positions. They're 2 light minutes out, closing fast, she said, tools whirring. We've got maybe an hour. Lyra finalized a 1 terabyte evidence package, deepfake proof, Lamperid files, and intercepted FDA orders. It's ready, she said, her analytical tone unwavering. This will break their narrative. Jonah's shuttle returned, docking under fire. The children were secured in medbays, their silver skins stark against white cots. He strode to the bridge, vial and rifle in hand. Got the kids. Got the proof. Now what? Vale turned, his gray eyes locked on the view screen. We reached the Nexus and broadcast. No stopping. The Ethrak ship fired plasma lances, disabling an FDA interceptor with a 50-megawatt reactor hit. The explosion bloomed silently, a fleeting star in the void. Anshara's voice followed. We shield you, Colonel. Truth is our weapon. The Aegis thrusters flared, pushing through the neutron star's gravitational pull. The Nexus loomed, its 10,000 transceivers glinting like a city in space. FDA ships trailed, their lasers painting the void red. Mira's fingers paused, her console steady. We're almost there. Kestrel's running out of moves? Jonah checked his stun rounds, his jaw set. If this broadcast fails, I'm taking the fight to him. His grief had hardened into purpose, a soldier reborn. Lyra's decryptor hummed, her glasses reflecting the evidence package. The data's airtight. The Concorde will listen. Her words carried a rare weight, a silent beat of certainty. Vale stood tall, his coat a dark anchor against the bridge's chaos. Full speed to the Nexus. We end this lie. The cruiser surged, shields glowing under relentless fire. The neutron star's light bathed the hull, a stark contrast to Verdantia's ash. Danger closed in, but the crew's actions were swift, precise, and kept the mission alive. The Nexus beckoned, a final chance to unveil the truth. The TSV Aegis breached the neutron star's orbit. The Concorde broadcast Nexus glinting ahead, its 5-kilometer-wide frame bristling with 10,000 transceivers, capable of reaching 200 star systems. The station's silver spires caught the star's pale light, a beacon in the void's relentless black. Colonel Soren Vale stood firm, his black-blue coat brushing the holotable as he tracked incoming threats. Kestrel's flagship, a 2-kilometer dreadnought with 400 railguns, loomed in blockade formation. Surrender the Aegis, its comms barked, voice cold and authoritative. Vale's gray eyes didn't flinch. Target their sensors, fire at will. Mira Chen's fingers danced over her console, rerouting auxiliary power to boost the Nexus signal by 150%. Sparks flew from her tools, her black hair tucked tight. Jamming fields are up, but I'm punching through, she said, sarcasm sharp. Kestrel's about to lose his audience. Dr. Lyra Novak uploaded the 1 terabyte evidence package to the Nexus mainframe, including a 3-minute FDA defector's confession. Her AR glasses glowed with data streams, her voice precise. Deepfake proof, Lamperid files, all loaded. It's ready to go live. Jonah Reeve, now aboard the Nexus, led a defense team against 50 FDA Special Forces operatives breaching the station. His light armor clinked as he tossed 40mm concussive grenades in 0G, each blast scattering enemies. "They're not getting through," he growled, stun rifle steady, his grief now a focused blade. The Ethrek fleet, 15 ships strong, engaged Kestrel's cruisers, their 300 megajoule plasma lances tearing through hulls. 8 enemy vessels erupted in silent fireballs, debris spinning into the void. Inshara's voice crackled through. "Our drones target their reactors. Hold the Nexus." Vale opened a broadcast channel. His 90-second appeal to the Concorde was sharp and urgent. "This is Colonel Vale. The Verdantia massacre was a human lie. Stand for truth, not vengeance." Missiles detonated 10 kilometers away, shaking the station. A silent beat followed, the crew's resolve hardening. The Nexus' structural integrity dropped to 60% under FDA bombardment, its spires cracking like glass. Mira rerouted power, her console sparking. "Signal's holding, but we're burning out fast," she said, voice tight. Her hack kept the broadcast alive, piercing Kestrel's jammers. Inshara's tactical drones swarmed, disabling 3 FDA warships by frying their 50-megawatt reactor cores. The explosions bloomed, lighting the neutron star's glow. "We shield the Nexus," Inshara said, their silver armor glinting on the holofeed. "Your truth must reach all." Jonah's team held a corridor, his stun rounds dropping operatives in mid-float. A plasma bolt grazed his armor, singeing the shoulder. He winced but held position, protecting the mainframe. "For my family," he muttered, a silent beat of purpose anchoring him. Lyra's decryptor pinged, confirming the package's upload. "It's live," she said, her platinum hair catching the console's light. 4 billion viewers across the Concorde are seeing this now?" Her words landed heavily, the galaxy's eyes turning to the truth. The evidence package flooded the Nexus transceivers, deep-fake metadata, lampurid schematics, and the defector's trembling voice exposing Kestrel's plot. Planets from 12 star systems reported signal reception, murmurs of shock rippling through conquered worlds. The station shook again, a railgun slug tearing through a secondary spire. Vale gripped the holotable, his voice steady. "Keep the broadcast running, no matter the cost." Mira's fingers blurred, rerouting the last of the Nexus power. 10% reserves left, she quipped, her sarcasm a thin veil over strain. "Kestrel's throwing everything at us." Jonah repelled another wave, his team down to 80% strength. He swapped a spent power cell, his movements precise. "They're not stopping us," he said, voice low but firm. His journey from vengeance, now a fight for justice. Nshara's ship absorbed a 100 gigajoule laser strike, its shields flaring. "We hold for you," they said philosophically. "Truth binds us now." Their drones weaved, disabling another warship with surgical strikes. The Nexus groaned, its hull dented by debris. Vale's coat swayed as he turned to the view screen, the dreadnought's railguns glowing red. "Brace for impact," he ordered, his calm a beacon in the storm. The broadcast pulsed on, reaching billions more, each frame dismantling Kestrel's lie. The station's lights flickered, but the signal held, a defiant cry against the void's chaos. The crew moved as one, their actions a desperate dance to keep the truth alive. Outside, the neutron star's light bathed the battle, casting stark shadows. The Aegis shields glowed, battered but unyielding. Danger pressed closer, but the evidence was out, a spark now, a wildfire across the galaxy. The Concorde broadcast Nexus shuddered under relentless FDA bombardment, its 5-kilometer frame a scarred beacon in the neutron star's pale glow. Its 10,000 transceivers pulsed, broadcasting the 1 terabyte evidence package to 4 billion viewers across 200 star systems. The station's silver spires, pitted by railgun slugs, glinted faintly, a defiant city in the void. Colonel Soren Vale stood at the Nexus command console, his black-blue coat brushing the edge, his gray eyes locked on the holotable tracking Kestrel's fleet. "Hold the signal at all costs," he ordered, his voice calm but unyielding, a razor cutting through the chaos. The Concorde Council, representing 18 species, flooded comm channels with unified demands for Admiral Seraph Kestrel's surrender. Their voices, a mix of guttural alien tones and synthesized human speech, echoed through the Nexus's comms array. A Clitheran delegate's bioluminescent crest pulsed as they spoke. The evidence is undeniable. Kestrel must answer. Vale nodded, his fingers swiping through tactical displays. Chen, status on the broadcast. Mira Chen hunched over her console, her hacking tools sparking as she wrestled with the Nexus's dwindling 1 gigawatt reserves, now at 10%. Her black hair, tied tight, caught the flickering light of her screen. Signal's holding, but we're burning out, she said, her sarcasm strained. Kestrel's jammers are screaming, but I've got them beat. Her fingers blurred, rerouting power through auxiliary circuits, boosting the transceiver's output to pierce FDA interference. A silent beat followed, her tools glowing faintly, a lifeline to the truth. On Earth, President Meena Rao stood in the new White House's orbital chamber, its curved windows framing a starfield. Her white suit was crisp, but her gray-streaked hair betrayed the strain of her choice. She issued a 256-bit encrypted directive, her voice slow and heavy. Arrest Admiral Kestrel immediately. Earth will not hide from this. Wait till when the order reached 12 billion citizens, planetside, their outrage a tidal wave amplified by the Nexus broadcast. Hollow screens in city squares flickered with the defector's confession, fueling demands for justice. Aboard the Nexus, Lieutenant Jonah Reeve piloted a 5-meter mech suit, its titanium frame dented by shrapnel. He shielded 30 Ethrak children in a collapsing corridor, their silver skin dim under flickering emergency lights. Shrapnel pinged off his suit, his HUD flashing critical warnings. "Stay low, kids," he said, his voice steady, no longer the heated cry of vengeance. A young Ethrak, eyes glowing green, clutched his armored leg. "You fight for us," they whispered. Jonah's jaw tightened, his grief now a shield for others. He fired a 40mm concussive grenade, scattering FDA operatives in 0G, their bodies spinning into the corridor's walls. Dr. Lyra Novak's AR glasses reflected streams of quantum data, her slim hands working the decryptor with relentless precision. The deepfake originated from a 15 exaflop AI in Kestrel's orbital command station, she said, her voice cold as steel. It's the FDA's signature, no question. Her analysis pinned the massacre video's creation to Earth's black ops, a truth now burning through the galaxy. She sealed a 500-page forensic report, its data airtight, ready to redefine deepfake detection. A silent beat hung, her glasses dimming as she leaned back, the weight of her findings settling. The Aegis crew, down to 80% combat strength, held the Nexus against 200 FDA shock troops in a grueling 3-hour firefight. Jonah's mech suit whirred, launching another grenade salvo, each blast a muffled boom in the station's thin air. "They're not touching the mainframe," he growled, his stun rifle dropping operatives with pinpoint shots. His team, a mix of humans and Concord volunteers, barricaded the core, their pulse rifles humming in sync. The corridor shook, a railgun slug tearing through a bulkhead, but Jonah stood firm, his journey from loss now a bulwark of resolve. Vale and Ambassador Inshara, linked via holofeed, addressed the Concord together. Vale's voice was concise, cutting through static. The Lampred Vault was Earth's weapon, built to target Ethrak and ignite war. Inshara's silver armor glinted, their green eyes steady. Truth reveals the guilty across all species. We stand with you. Their joint broadcast reached 50 member worlds, from gas giants to rocky outposts, each planet's leaders stunned by the Lampred files. The holofeed flickered, a testament to their fragile alliance. Kestrel's 2-kilometer dreadnought unleashed a 500 gigajoule laser strike, its beam a searing lance across the void. Ethrak's shields flared, absorbing 90% of the energy, their 500 petawatt barriers glowing like a supernova. Inshara's tactical drones swarmed, disabling 2 FDA warships by frying their 50-megawatt reactor cores. The explosions bloomed silently, debris scattering into the neutron star's pull. "We hold the line," Inshara said, their voice philosophical yet resolute. "Your courage binds us." Rao's denouncement hit the airwaves, halting 400 Black Anthem warships 2 light-years out. "Operation Black Anthem is dead," she declared, her South Asian features resolute on every Concord screen. "Earth will face its reckoning." The Concord's 10,000-member fleet arrived, their hulls a gleaming armada outnumbering Kestrel's forces 5-1. Frigates and cruisers formed a tightening net, their ion cannons charging with a low hum. Kestrel's flagship faltered, its railguns falling silent. Vale opened a channel, his voice ablade. "Kestrel, stand down. The galaxy sees your lie." The dreadnought's surrender signal flashed, a weak pulse in the chaos. A silent beat followed, the crew exhaling as the tide turned. Mira's console flickered, its power nearly gone. "Broadcast still up," she quipped, her tools dimming. "Kestrel's propaganda is history." Her hack had held, the truth a wildfire now raging across 12 star systems. She leaned back, her sarcasm a faint shield against exhaustion. Jonah guided the Ethrak children to a safe bay, his mech suit servos whining. A child pressed a silver token into his hand, a gesture of trust. "You are not like the others," they said. Jonah's eyes softened, a flicker of reconciliation breaking through his pain. Lyra's decryptor hummed, her report now a galactic standard. "No one can hide from this data," she said, her analytical edge unyielding. The Nexus's lights dimmed, its integrity critical, but the broadcast pulsed on, a beacon of truth. Vale stood tall, his coat a dark anchor. "Secure the Nexus. We've broken their lie." The station groaned, its spires cracking, but the crew's action, swift, relentless, kept the signal alive. Nashara's ship held position, its shields battered but defiant. "The Concord unites," they said, their voice a bridge across species. The neutron star's light cast stark shadows, the battle's chaos fading as the Concord fleet closed in. The truth had ignited, a spark now a galactic fire, and Kestrel's empire of lies crumbled in its glare. The conquered broadcast nexus hung battered in the neutron star's pale glow, its cracked spires glinting faintly against the void. The station's transceivers, though scorched, stood silent, their work done as the truth rippled across 200 star systems. Colonel Soren Vale stood on the Aegis bridge, his black-blue coat still, his gray eyes scanning the holotable, where Kestrel's surrender signal pulsed weakly. The Concorde's 10,000-member fleet encircled the FDA remnants, their ion cannons dimming as the battle ended. Admiral Seraph Kestrel, his crimson uniform now a mark of disgrace, was arrested aboard his 2-kilometer dreadnought. His white hair gleamed under harsh lights as Concorde enforcers cuffed him, his 60-year career collapsing under the weight of exposed lies. The holofeed showed him silent, his scarred face defiant but broken, a dark reflection of humanity's hubris. President Meena Rao addressed the galaxy from Earth's orbital chamber, her white suit stark against the starfield. "The Lampirid project is terminated," she declared, her voice resolute. "All 200 bioweapon facilities across 8 colonies will be decommissioned." Her words reached 12 billion citizens, a promise of accountability etched in the wake of the broadcast. Vale and Ambassador Inshara oversaw the Lampirid Vault's destruction from a command shuttle above Verdantia. The 2-kilometer deep facility vanished in a 10-megaton fusion blast, its shock waves scattering ash clouds. Inshara's silver armor caught the explosion's glow, their green eyes calm. "This ends a cycle," they said philosophically. Vale nodded, his coat swaying. "No more weapons of lies." Lieutenant Jonah Reeve, now a Concorde liaison, led a 200-person team to relocate Ethrak survivors to a new colony world. Its green plains a stark contrast to Verdantia's ash. His light armor was gone, replaced by a simple tunic, his muscular frame moving with purpose as he guided families. A young Ethrak child, clutching a silver token, ran to him. "You kept us safe," they said. Jonah knelt, his brown eyes soft, a silent beat of reconciliation marking his transformation from vengeance to protector. Mira Chen worked at the Nexus, upgrading its transceivers to ensure 99.9% data transparency. Her tools hummed, her black hair tucked tight as she rewired circuits under flickering lights. "No one's hiding lies now," she quipped, her sarcasm lighter, a nod to the galaxy's new openness. Her upgrades locked the station's signal integrity, a safeguard against future deceptions. Dr. Lyra Novak published her 500-page quantum forensics report, whose data was adopted as a galactic standard for deepfake detection. Her AR glasses dimmed as she finalized the upload, her slim frame steady. "This sets the truth free," she said, her analytical tone carrying rare warmth. Her work reshaped how the Concorde verified reality, a legacy born from Verdantia's ashes. The Ashlight Accord was signed on the Nexus, its terms etched in holodisplays, bioweapons banned, a 50-member genocide oversight mechanism established, and militarist powers curbed. Vale and Inshara stood side by side, their signatures sealing a pact across species. The station's cracked hull loomed behind, a testament to the cost of truth. The Concorde allocated 2 trillion credits to rebuild Verdantia, restoring its 4 million square kilometers of farmland. Drones seeded fields under clearing skies, green shoots piercing ash. Rao reformed Earth's military, capping fleets at 1,000 ships to prevent another Kestrel. Her directive, broadcast live, ensured transparency, her gray-streaked hair framing a face now resolute. Vale and Mira stood on the Aegis bridge, watching Verdantia's skies clear on the viewscreen. The planet's twin suns broke through, casting golden light over renewed fields. Mira's tools were still, her voice soft. "We did it, Colonel. Truth won." Vale's gray eyes softened, a rare flicker of pride. "Not vengeance, justice." Jonah joined them, his tunic marked by soil from the new colony. His journey from hot-headed grief to quiet resolve mirrored the galaxy's shift. "I thought justice meant blood," he said, voice low, gazing at the stars. "But it's this, saving what's left, building something better. My family's gone, but these kids, human or Ethrak, they're the future we protect. Truth isn't a weapon, it's a shield to stop the cycle of lies." The Aegis's engines hummed, ready for its next mission. The bridge fell silent, the crew's actions once frantic, now steady, a rhythm of hope. Verdantia's green horizon glowed, a symbol of a galaxy united not by fear, but by the relentless pursuit of truth.